Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cape Ann Today. I am with only one Gloucester Times reporter today because Stephen Hagan is away. So I am with Ethan Forman. So nice to see you, Ethan.
Hey Heather, yeah, Steve's away on vacation. He'll be back next week. And I wonder if I'd mention that we also had some residents of our newsroom nesting of starlings that we could hear from our desks, but they're gone.
So it's so quiet at your desk today. You have
It's
no,
quiet.
and all
Well,
the birds have fled.
I'm sure the trains will come through and that'll make a lot of noise. So
Okay. Yeah, last week we could hear the starlings in the background. That was
yeah,
kind of
yeah, they're gone. It's kind of sad. But yeah, no, it's been a busy. I've had a busy week, and yeah. So let's talk news.
all right. Well, I understand you attended the public hearing about the Good Harbor Creek last night. We're recording this on Thursday.
Oh yeah, yeah. This was a meeting that was held on Wednesday with the mayor and city officials trying to work out the creek, what's going on in the creek, and unfortunately, there's no answer. There were the history is in 2021 they were seeing historically high spikes of enterococci bacteria, which is an indicator bacteria for pathogens. So it's not, you don't get sick from that bacteria. It's a bacteria that I guess lives in, it's an indicator, bacteria indicator in salt water. I'm not a scientist, so the normal levels are 104 coliform units per 100 milliliters, and these were like 14,000. They were seeing spikes, huge spikes, and usually after rain events.
Mhm.
So they don't have a. So they in 2021 they closed the beach several times, and in 2022 last season, when they got a big reading in the early part of the season, they closed the creek. Creek is a very popular swimming spot for anyone who's been to Good Harbor Beach. Good Harbor Beach, beautiful beach, very wide and expansive, and then off to the side, there's a footbridge, and then there's the creek, and a lot of families will, swim there and stuff. So
The water's
uh,
shallow and a little warmer.
it's yeah, and no, it's a great spot. And one of the things that was bothering people was there seemed to be an inaction. The city had paid a consultant, Woodard and Curran, $120,000 to do extensive work and working with the DPW and the Department of Public Health. And there was a lot of work going on. I spoke with the former assistant health uh, director in Gloucester last year, and she was very hands on trying to figure out where this might be some sort of sewage exfiltration. Who knows? They were snaking TV cameras down sewer pipes. They're testing all in the area, and unfortunately, they didn't really. Unfortunately, didn't see something that would cause this spike. They did some investigation. Now, the other thing that I should mention, a group had since formed called Clean the Creek because they want answers. They anecdotally, people on it's sharing on social media are saying that they're getting sick surfing, in the waters. And last night, the public health nurse said there's been no reports to pediatricians or doctors through the state's Maven system to report illnesses. And so, I'm not saying people aren't getting sick. What I'm saying is they just haven't had this kind of reporting. So if you go swimming in the creek and you get sick, you got to report to your doctor and try to ferret out what this might be.
So, Ethan, what are the coliform counts right now? Did they say last
So
night?
they've done testing. They've been started testing on the creek. They've done 4 rounds of tests, and which is that they don't normally do. It started in April,
Mhm.
and I think it's like 10, less than 10
Oh,
calling for years.
and
So
it
the creek is open. The creek, my assumption is the creek's going to be open for swimming because it's not testing high levels.
so
One
did
of
you,
the things,
I'm sorry, did you say normal was 104?
104, and
Wow.
they're getting like less than 10,
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah, great.
But they were seeing spikes up to 14,000. They think that what happens with rain events, I think don't swim in the creek around, when when it rains and after rain events, I think that they think that a lot of the bacteria washes down, but they don't know. No, this is the interesting thing. Last night they were talking about what might be the causes. Then I haven't ruled out. They haven't ruled out cesspools. They haven't ruled out a sewage issue with sewage, even though you know I think the residents want are leaning toward that in their assumptions. But avian populations, waterfowl, these are near um, protected habitat. Um, and they were doing testing, and they could see they had a correlation between where they were testing and where they were seeing, migratory birds.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Doc.
it could be so, and the testing, and one of the large spikes that they saw in their testing, which was like higher than the machine can calibrate. There was no human DNA in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So could it be dog waste? Could it be avian? Who knows? Again, sort of coming down into the creek. So they're going to continue their investigation. We learned that the city has paid the consultant. They're not. I guess either still under contract or they're still working. The DPW director was like, we looked at the sewage pretty thoroughly, and we can't see anything. There's nothing to fix. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So
So Ethan,
I know I'm not a scientist. The report is on the city's website, and I can show it to you. It's pretty thick and it's full of data. And so the next steps, I think, concrete steps is they're going to put up signage that says "Don't swim after rain events," similar to what I think is in Rockport. They showed a sign from Rockport, and they're going to try to reconvene the meeting in the fall.
Ethan, can you say where the creek starts or where it comes from? Is it
Well,
that salt marsh behind
well,
Good?
it's all that marsh, Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
You can see it's all that marsh up in there. There's two
Okay.
sides to it. There's an east and a west side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so like Hart Street, Neptune Place,
Hmm.
those areas. It all feeds in.
Right. Right. Interesting.
So yeah, so could it be waterfowl?
Mhm.
We talked about the starlings. The starlings kind of made a mess.
Well, and dog waste, that can apparently, I've heard people in Rockport talking about walking dogs around the public water source in Rockport, which is a quarry, and that it can really impact the water system.
Yeah,
So,
don't people pick up nowadays?
yeah, well,
I,
that's what they say is make sure you pick up after your dog. Yeah. So,
I know not everyone does, but I think a lot of people do. So
yeah, right, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
a mystery. It's a mystery right now.
Any good questions from people last night that you remember?
Yeah, I mean, there was some good. There was one gentleman who came in. His name was Adam Cook, and I guess he was surfing there, and you know he was he was sort of questioning whether this was third waste, and he says it smells pretty bad on some days when I'm out there surfing.
Hmm.
So his take is that it's sewage.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna dismiss anyone's experience,
Right.
but they are talking more about the consultant for the city is talking about more about the impact after rain events.
Hmm.
Maybe
Mhm.
there's somehow I don't know. Anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, so that was good. And then yeah, so the head of the group, the Clean Creek group, also spoke up and said, um, asked about. She said that the presentation, which I think you'll be able to watch on the city's website when I urge you to do it, it was pretty informative. I
Mhm.
asked about what some of the next steps are. So you might see some more signage.
Mhm.
Um, but right now, the I guess the creek is testing okay. We've had a lot of rain. We had some rain earlier this week, but yeah,
Well,
it's the
did they,
history.
did they talk about last summer? Because we had a drought last summer. There were very few rain events.
When they got the initial spike, they closed the creek and they didn't test it after that.
Oh, okay. So
You know,
last
it
summer
was
they did no testing.
it's not they just out of abundance caution. What they didn't want to do was test it, open it, close it.
Ah, smart.
So they did. There was the drought was brought up last. I think some of the residents were a little upset during the presentation. For some reason, they couldn't see the faces, the
Oh,
Zoom faces of the people speaking. Um, I think it was just an oversight. I don't think they were trying to hide.
mhm.
And somebody was questioning why didn't you speak up about this information sooner in the presentation? There's a lot of information. I
Mm,
urge you to watch it. A lot came out. Again, it's still a mystery, but they want to keep people bathers safe. I mean, I think that's the most important thing.
right. Well, let's move on a little bit. There was a surprise traffic glitch this week, and I experienced it. Have you?
Tell me about your lived experience.
Okay, my lived experience was I was just cruising from Gloucester to Rockport, or I thought I was going to, and well, I think I'd been to Market Basket, and I hit traffic that I was not anticipating, and it was backed up for a long time. I ended up going all the way around. I went through East Gloucester and then cut through by Good Harbor Beach and then over to 127A to get home. But there was a lot of traffic at the light there, the 128 light.
Yeah, so they were paving Eastern Ave in the vicinity of Just Variety, between the lights and Shaw's, uh, and that uh, yeah, and they were also milling and paving a section of East Main Street. As you go up the hill.
Mhm.
So
That was
those
open
two,
to me, but I couldn't make that left onto Eastern Ave as I was coming down the 128.
yes, and that's I experienced that. Yeah, I actually experienced that yesterday
Mm.
when they were finishing up their paving. So what they do is they sent you all the way down. They had sent everyone down to Bass Ave and
Yeah, right.
Thatcher Road, and then they had closed up Hart Street, which is another cut through that's popular, but that's where the paving was happening. So yeah, a lot of people got caught in traffic this week, and I was caught off guard too because I think the issue of this was communication. I think people were like, "Well, why didn't we know about it?" And I think I got caught off guard because I saw it on Facebook. I saw the city posting this last week
Oh,
over and over again, and I was like, hard to write about paving stories because you're not really sure when they're going to wrap up. In
yeah.
fact, they don't know when it's going to wrap up. They could have trouble getting asphalt, and they might have to go another day.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a lot, it's so they made the decision to do these two roads at once, and it tied up traffic.
Yeah. I mean, Bass
And
Avenue is a narrow little curvy, juncture. So it's hard to send traffic down there.
yeah, and I think really what if we look at the social media comments, I was very surprised because people were on Facebook complaining about not seeing a post from the city on Facebook, and I naturally assume that people follow the city on Facebook. Now maybe that was my problem, and I
Yeah.
probably should have written that this work was happening. I mean, you could get around it, but it took a while. Some people complained it took them on Tuesday. It took them an hour to go
Mm.
from Dale Avenue to the stop and shop.
I could see that. I definitely could see that. I could have been stuck in that if I didn't do my circuitous route through East Gloucester.
Traffic wasn't bad on that as bad on Wednesday. It took me about 10 minutes to get through it all,
Mm.
and I think they're wrapping up today
All right. Thursday on
on
May.
Thursday. Yeah, by Thursday. So, but it's your damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mhm.
People want the roads paved. Then when they pave the roads, you got to communicate. I think DPW director, he was sort of talking to me and saying, this is it's on me. I'm not blaming him, but and I
Mm.
think one of the things is communication. Put up more signboards, put up more notices. Too much communication is not a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
People get sick of hearing about it. You're doing a good job. So
Yeah.
I feel bad because I didn't have anything in the paper. Maybe if we had like a front page story, hey, they're paving Eastern Avenue. I just didn't pick up on it. Hey, there's
Okay,
people
so
would
so
avoid
is
it.
there more paving happening, and should we be posting that in the newspaper?
Well, yeah, I mean yeah, they're gonna do uh oh, I don't want to get it wrong. That they're gonna do the lower portion of Gloucester Avenue soon.
Okay.
And yeah,
And what
but
neighborhood is that? What's the lower?
that's not right nearby us, Gloucester Ave.
Oh, okay.
You
All right.
know, up from the circle.
Okay. Oh, that gets really congested sometimes anyway. So, and when's that
Yeah,
gonna happen?
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna like reach out next week. I don't think it's gonna happen this week. I
Oh,
did. Oh, I did want to add something in. I hope we're not running over
no.
about the beach stickers and resident beach stickers
Yeah.
in Gloucester. I saw the process going on. It's now in the old Sawyer Free Library, not at their temporary location. And um, people were coming in, and there was a little bit of confusion about what to do. You have to bring a check with you. They're only accepting checks. You bring your registration, you bring your proof of residency, and then you fill out your information on a computer yourself. And then you go to the window.
This is for residents,
Residents only.
residents only to purchase their beach stickers.
Now, if you're a non-resident,
I know.
you go on an app called Blinkay, and it's actually really simple. I have gone on that, and my wife and I are going to Wingersteak on Sunday.
Nice. And you're registered?
I am all registered. We'll see if it works.
All right. So how does a person find the Blinkay system?
You just go into your app store, either Android or iOS. It's in there. It's an app. You download the app.
Blinkay.
Yeah, it's really easy. And there's an advantage. I think you can change. You can I think maybe transfer it to another car within your household
Okay.
on your license plate, if in case you want to bring a different car.
Well, that's good.
But there's no refunds, so it's a rainy day. You make a reservation, but you can make a reservation for up to 10 days.
Okay.
And the system was put in place to smooth the experience at the gates and to keep people from driving up to Gloucester and then getting turned away. No cash at the gates. You can't pay anything at the gates like that. So
Okay.
I'm all Blinkade.
All
So
right.
Winter Chic on Sunday.
I just want to because we didn't cover this too much last week. So I just want to be really clear about residents. So residents do not go to the Kairos Auditorium to get your beach stickers because it's full of scaffolding from the fire. Go to
Correct.
the former or the Sawyer Free
Sawyer
Library
Free Library on 2 Dale Ave.
on Tudale Ave. Go to the
The
building.
children's room. Go to the back entrance to the old children's room. And inside it's all set up. They got clerk's windows. It's really professional setup. And but you got to go in and you got to enter your information yourself. Bring your check, bring your registration, bring your proof.
Only
All
a check.
that's all,
You can only
only pay by check, not cash, because you don't want them handling a lot of cash. And but here's another tip. If you're here's a pro tip. If you're a Gloucester resident, you can go online, do it
do it
all,
all online. Pay
and
with a
they'll
credit
and
card. Go online.
yeah,
Right.
they'll mail it to you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to blink K on. We'll see if it works.
I know. Well, I hope you have a nice sunny day. It's supposed to be a nice weekend.
Yeah. It was supposed to rain, but no, I think it's going to be great. So me and my wife are heading up to Winger Chic. Enjoy.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor at 1623studios.org to learn more.